The journey of human life begins in a truly remarkable and microscopic world, deep inside the female reproductive system, where millions of sperm cells are released and immediately begin a challenging and competitive race toward a single egg, each one driven by a tiny tail, moving with determination through a complex and ever-changing environment, facing numerous obstacles along the way. Yet out of these millions, only one sperm is able to reach the egg and successfully penetrate its outer layer. And in that precise and extraordinary moment, fertilization occurs, as the sperm and egg merge together, combining their genetic material to form a single new cell known as a zygote, which carries a complete set of DNA, half inherited from the mother and half from the father, and this unique genetic blueprint will guide the entire development of the new human being, influencing physical features like eye color, hair texture, height potential, and even certain biological tendencies. And almost immediately after this union, the zygote begins an incredible process of rapid cell division, splitting into 2 cells, then 4, then 8, continuing to multiply in a carefully controlled and synchronized manner as it slowly travels down the fallopian tube toward the uterus. And during this journey, it transforms into a compact cluster of cells called a morula, and soon after, into a more advanced structure known as a blastocyst, which contains an inner group of cells that will eventually develop into the baby itself, and an outer layer of cells that will form essential support systems, such as the placenta. And once the blastocyst reaches the uterus, it gently attaches itself to the thick and nutrient-rich lining in a process known as implantation, establishing a vital connection with the mother's body, allowing the exchange of oxygen, nutrients, and waste products. And from this point forward, the developing life is referred to as an embryo, entering a phase of astonishing transformation and growth, where the foundations of all major organs and systems begin to form in a highly coordinated sequence. Within just a few weeks, a structure called the neural tube develops, which will later become the brain and spinal cord, while at the same time, a tiny heart begins to form and soon starts beating, circulating blood through a simple yet essential system, marking one of the earliest and most powerful signs of life. And as development continues, small limb buds appear that will gradually grow into arms and legs, while the early outlines of the face begin to take shape, including the formation of eyes, ears, and a developing mouth, giving the embryo a more recognizable human appearance. And by the end of the first trimester, which is around 12 weeks, the embryo has now developed into what is called a fetus, and although still very small, it already possesses most of its fundamental body structures, entering a new phase focused on growth, strengthening, and refinement. During the second trimester, the fetus grows rapidly in size and complexity. Its bones begin to harden, muscles develop, and movements become more coordinated and purposeful, allowing the baby to stretch, turn, and even kick inside the womb. Movements that the mother may begin to feel as gentle flutters, creating a deeper emotional connection, while at the same time, the internal organs continue to mature. The digestive system begins practicing movements. The lungs start developing structures necessary for breathing, and the brain becomes increasingly complex, forming connections that will later support thinking, memory, and sensory responses, while the baby's skin develops multiple layers and may be covered with a fine soft hair known as lanugo, and even tiny fingerprints are formed, making each individual unique even before birth. And as the pregnancy progresses into the third trimester, the fetus undergoes its most significant period of growth, gaining weight and building the strength needed to survive outside the womb. The brain experiences rapid development, with billions of neurons forming intricate networks. And the baby becomes more responsive to the outside world, reacting to sounds, light, and even the mother's voice, sometimes moving in response. And during this stage, the baby gradually shifts into a head-down position, preparing for birth, while the space inside the uterus becomes more limited, making movements slower, but stronger and more noticeable. And finally, after approximately 9 months of continuous development, the moment of birth arrives, initiated by complex hormonal signals that trigger a series of powerful and rhythmic uterine contractions. These contractions help open the cervix and guide the baby through the birth canal, a process that requires both strength and coordination. And as the baby emerges into the outside world, once it experiences a dramatic transition from the warm and fluid-filled environment of the womb to the cooler, air-filled world outside, taking its very first breath as its lungs expand for the first time, followed by the sound of its first cry, a powerful and emotional signal that its respiratory system is functioning properly. And in that unforgettable moment, the newborn is gently held, often placed in the arms of the mother, marking the completion of an extraordinary journey that began as a single microscopic cell and developed into a fully formed human being, a journey that reflects the complexity, precision, and beauty of life itself, reminding us of the incredible process that unfolds quietly and continuously long before a baby takes its very first breath in the world.